Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks so much for being here. This was a hard video for me to make for more than one reason. Those of you that have been following again, you know that I've used an iPhone forever, switched to Android. I went to the S25 Ultra. Loved the phone, it was great. It really opened up my eyes to what a phone can do. I mean, it was amazing to me. I mean, the iPhone, don't get me wrong, it was a great phone. Did a lot of great things. Loved it. But I just wanted something different. Time for something new. So I took the leap of faith, got this phone, it blew my mind. Loved it. Then I started thinking, okay, well, there's, goodness, who knows, so many Android phones out there. Lots of different makers. And I thought to myself, okay, well, Google makes a phone. They obviously Android's their thing, their bread and butter. So I figured, why not just get the Pixel phone and see what that's like. Everyone said, hey, this is just like an iPhone. So I thought, you know what, I'll take the plunge, I'll try it. I want to tell you, I was so excited to use this, and this video is going to explain why I'm returning it and switching back to my Samsung. So let's jump into this. All right, guys, the first thing I noticed right away with this phone, of course, it looks gorgeous. It's a beautiful phone. I love the way it looks. Very reminiscent of an iPhone. Okay, the previous generations, it looks super similar, minus the visor, of course, but it looks like it, right? I can see the appeal of Google saying, hey, we want to try to pull more iPhone users to switch over. I get that. This is a great step for that if that visual piece of the phone really appeals to you. I mean, it does to me, don't get me wrong. But I could definitely get where they're coming from. So when I started using this, I was scrolling through things, setting everything up. Man, I noticed the refresh rate, that variable refresh rate was really kicking in. And it made me think, where is that quickness that I had on the Samsung? I'm trying to, I'm going through Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, scrolling. It's taking its time. I know that doesn't bother some people. I get that. But from someone who's used iPhone forever, switching over to Samsung and seeing how fast, how quick it is, man, that you love it. You can't get away from that. I don't have that here. I mean, I'm scrolling through, it's taking its time. I was like, you know what? Okay, not a big deal. I can still use this phone. No biggie. And I get that it's not everyone's thing. Not everyone's concerned about that. I get it. But to me, with how the Samsung blew my mind, I was hoping it was here too, just for me. All right, moving on to the next thing about this phone. Man, it is reflective. So it's brighter, right? I'll throw on the screen what the peak brightness is, the nits. I know it's brighter than the Samsung. But on the Samsung, you have that. I'll throw this on the screen too. I forget what it's called, but the Corning Gorilla Glass or something like that. But it's reflective. It's got that finish on it to where if you've got a light on it, you can't really see it as much. It doesn't really draw your attention. If you're watching a show, or if you're doing something, you're not automatically drawn to basically the mirror-like finish. Pixel, man, it is a mirror. I'd be looking at it under lights, whatever it is. I'll throw this little video on screen so you can kind of see that difference. Man, I noticed it right away. And it was very distracting for me. I did not like it at all. It was basically, when I'm using this phone, it was like I was looking at a mirror all the time. Very reflective. So that was something that really set me off from the beginning. I tried again. This will be a common thread in this video. I tried again to just be like, it's not a big deal. Who cares? Beautiful looking phone. Whatever. Not a big deal. But over time, it really started to bother me. All right, the next thing that I noticed too with this phone, this is very small, okay? I get it. I'll probably get some slack in the comments. I understand. But I pay attention to these little things, and I noticed right away the top notification bar. When I'm in landscape mode, that notification bar with your battery percentage, the cellular, your time, all of that goes to the top, right? But I noticed on the Pixel, it shaves off a good, I don't know, maybe half an inch where the camera is, the front-facing camera. it will not throw certain pictures of your notifications or things too far to the left or too far to the right, if that's obviously where the orientation of the phone is. And I'll throw this little video on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But I noticed that if, I'll turn it over, why is it off? It's so close to the edge. It seemed kind of buggy to me. I wanted it to be centered. I wanted it to move over, so I flip it over again and you would see it again, okay? You would see that there's that gap there. That started to bother me over time. These things just kept eating at me and I was like, oh man, my Samsung didn't do that. Or if it did, I didn't notice. I tried to go back, I didn't see it. But I kept having that thought, man, my Samsung didn't do that. It's okay, I'll stick with this, I can fight through it. But that's one of those things I noticed again. And now, you're not using your phone like this all day, every day, right? That's dumb. I get that. But when I'm watching a show and I'm pulling down to look at notifications or I'm in other apps, my eyes would just always be drawn to it. I would always just bloop, I would look at it, and it kind of bothered me. Again, small, no one else is probably going to care about that, but I did. The next thing I want to talk about are the cameras. Both cameras, amazing. Truly, they're great. I'm not the kind of guy I'm not a professional photographer and I'm really going into the settings and making changes. I just want to pick up the phone, maybe change 4K, 1080p, whatever it is, frames. I'll make a few changes, but I'm not going in and completely resetting the settings to get exactly what I want. Maybe in the future when I understand it more, but I just want to pick up the phone, click on the camera, click on the recorder, and just go to town. So in that perspective, both phones do a great job. I really like both phones. I will tell you, super amazing camera on the Pixel. Really blown away by what it can do. Here, I'm going to throw on here the pixels and the differences between the two phones. We've got the S25 Ultra, we've got the Pixel. So you can see the differences there. I feel as though it was really great. I would find myself looking at the pictures and thinking, hey, that looks pretty good. But I would do the same thing on my Samsung. I'd pull it up, look at the pictures, and I'd think, hey, that's really good. So for me, I wasn't like, hey, I got to make a decision between one of those phones and it's solely going to be based on the camera because they were both great. So I'm going to throw a few videos here. This is me out just walking around, showing you the front camera, the back camera, the quality of the audio. I just wanted you to see for yourselves. And I'm just curious what your thoughts are. So watch these real quick for me. What's going on, guys? Wanted to show you the camera comparison on the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. This is the front-facing camera. 42 megapixel front-facing camera. Not too bad. Not too bad. Sound should be pretty good. All right, we're going to swap it around to the main camera. All right, everyone, this is the main camera for the Pixel 10 Pro XL. 50 megapixel. Tell me what you think. Should sound pretty good, look pretty good. And now we're going to switch over to the Samsung S25 Ultra. All right, everybody, this is the Samsung S25 Ultra. This is the selfie camera, 12 megapixel camera. Tell me what you think. Can you tell the difference between the 12 megapixel here and the 50 megapixel camera on the Google phone? What do you think? Let's switch it over to the main camera. All right, guys, now this is the main camera on the S25 Ultra. A whopping 100 megapixel. Tell me what you think. Can you tell a big difference between the two phones? I'm gonna let you guys be the judge on this one. What do you think? So, did you notice a huge difference? I think I did a little bit when I recorded these. I'm still gonna tell you that for what I do, big fan of the S25 Ultra. They both have that 100 times zoom. Both awesome. Obviously, you're gonna use some AI when you get out that far to really look at certain things. But the camera is not a huge thing for me to make a deciding factor of what phone I want because I know that the cameras are great in all of these phones. The iPhone, the Pixel, the S25 Ultra, arguably, they're all great phones. They're all great cameras. So again, it's just not enough for me to think this is going to be 10 times better for me to use on an everyday, from everyday standpoint. All right, so another thing I noticed when using this phone, I was so blown away with the Samsung, the feature that it had when you were opening apps, you had a bunch of apps open, but it was time to close them all. you had this feature where you would pull up all of the apps and you had a button you would click to close all of them. And I thought, whoa, pretty neat, pretty neat. Every day, multiple times a day, you're in there going, you're pulling up all your apps, you want to close them, and you're using your thumb or your finger or whatever it is, you're sliding, closing them all one by one. If you got a bunch of apps open, it'll take just a little bit longer. That was a huge thing to me that I thought, hey, attention to detail, little difference. I like that. When I went to the Pixel, I thought, okay, it's going to be there again. It's not. It isn't. It's just like the iPhone. I'm almost worried that they're like, hey, we want to keep things really similar to the iPhone user, right? Just to get them over to the Android experience. That could be the case. But there's reasons why I left the iPhone. There's reasons why I wanted a different phone. So these little things that I noticed that my iPhone did, and I've even tried to go back to the iPhone. I'll use my wife's iPhone, and I'm reminded of the things that I was like, oh man, I didn't like it, right? I don't like that about it. I noticed on the Pixel, it does that same thing. So I have to close all the apps individually, one by one. Maybe there's a setting. I don't know. I didn't find it. I didn't see it. So, but that's just my thoughts. Okay. I get this. This is like, you know, grasping at straws here. That's fine. This is just my thoughts. Okay. You know, it's my phone. I want it to do certain things, you know, and to other people, I get that all of these things, not a big deal. They still really like the Android experience. To them, none of these things will matter. But to me, it did. And now, there were things I really liked, like the camera. The screen picture looked really nice. The colors popped. I mean, that part of the Android experience and other phone experience was still there. But these other four things just kept nagging at me. And eventually I thought, all right, well, let me just go back to this for a little bit, see if I'm going to really miss the Pixel, see if it's really something I want. And it is. So I'm going right back to the S25 Ultra. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. You know, I get that these things, grasping at straws, not a big deal to most people. I get that, okay? This is just from the perspective of Sterling. I left iPhone for reasons, was really blown away by the Samsung. The screen quality, things like that of the Pixel I really liked. A few other things. However, I'm drawn back to this. I caught myself more than once thinking, I kind of want my Samsung back. Kind of want the Samsung back. So that's just from the perspective of Sterling. I hope this helps people, especially for iPhone users that are trying to make a little bit of a jump. You know, I can see this would be a great first step. And you know what? Maybe it's my fault for getting the Samsung first. Maybe if I switched to the Pixel right away, I wouldn't know a difference. And I'd think to myself, hey, this is a great phone. I would have no nitpicks. But that's why this to me is so much better of a phone. Just for me, how I use the phone, the things I pay attention to, the things my eyes are drawn to, that's just me from the perspective of. All right, other than that, thanks so much, guys, for watching. Appreciate you. We'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. It means the world to me. I'm just starting out, so I want to be able to help as much as I can. So I think right now we're at 40 subscribers. Let's keep up the momentum. Thanks, guys. Love everybody. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you and see you next time. Bye-bye.